Welcome back, guys. Dirk the Red Panda here with Tennis Ace. This is probably the third consecutive Tennis Ace video I've made over the past 2 weeks. But the thing is, my schedule was pretty weird this past few weeks. I went from Tennis Ace being my last video of the week, to being my only video of the week, to now being my first video of the week. So, pardon the discrepancy with all that. I should for sure get After Class out right after Tennis Ace. And Echo depends on some things I got going on this weekend. Once again, personal life and stuff. Yeah, and so, other than that, not much else to say. Gonna keep the title short because this is a 50-minute video. That was fun to record. So yeah, let's get to the reading. April 18th, Tuesday. Such a beautiful day. The sun is bright, the sky is blue, the weather is mild, the breeze outside ruffles the leaves of the trees, covering the parks and streets in green and pink, carrying the scent of greenery in the air. It is, without a doubt, a wonderful day. Nothing could possibly ruin it. No one could possibly be sad or upset or preoccupied on a day like this. Well, except for... Jeune. Jeune, seriously, sit down. I try repeating it for the upteenth time, hoping that this time he'll actually register what I'm saying. Or that he won't disregard me, at least. I can't sit down. I can't keep myself sat down. I just can't. His voice is 2 keys higher than usual, and he's stuttering so much that I can barely make out what he's saying. His entire body is shivering. Is this adrenaline coursing through him, or is he just quaking in fear? Honestly, I have no idea. Come on, why are you so nervous? Didn't you say you've performed live before? Didn't you used to take part in competitions? Yeah, but it's been so long since the last time. How long exactly? About 7 years. Are you asking or telling me? I'm not sure. Great, he's not making sense. Come on, Jun, you have experience with this. You should have learned to believe in yourself by now. Having experience doesn't mean I can't screw up. A single mistake could stop me from getting to the next stage. Look, just sit down for a minute and try to compose yourself, okay? I put my hands on both of his shoulders and force him down on one of the benches they have in the lobby. Honestly, though, this place is massive. It's so full of people that even I feel a bit on edge. I can definitely understand why Jeune would be bothered. Just breathe, okay? Nice, long, deep breaths. I try showing him some breathing exercises, but he fails pathetically at all of them. His breathing is so rapid and ragged that I'm afraid he might just give himself a heart attack. Actually, could he be having a panic attack? Rapid, shallow breathing, stuttering, pacing around nervously. It does sound like the descriptions I've heard. But then again, I'm no doctor, so I can't really tell. I kneel down to stay eye level with him, putting one hand on his shoulder and the other on his chest. I immediately start to feel awkward as memories of what happened yesterday flash in my mind. Still, I try to ignore him as best as I can. Right now, I need to help Jeune. Alright, first things first. What was it that I learned about panic attacks? I remember Shuichi telling me about times... Jeune, look at me, okay? Look me in the eyes. Can you do that for me? Jun sets his eyes on my face. His eyes are bloodshot and scared, but he does as I say, slowly nodding for me. Good. Now focus on my hand on your chest. Can you feel my hand on your chest? Can you feel it moving when you breathe? Jun looks down at my hand, making me move it to his chin and raise his head so he only looks at my face. No, you don't need to look at it. Just feel my hand on your chest. Okay. Now, I want you to breathe for me, okay? Just focus on moving my hand around when you do it. 4 seconds in, 2 seconds out. 4 seconds in, 2 seconds out. Can you do that for me? I'll try. Jun starts to take deep breaths. He struggles a bit at first, but his breathing starts to become more and more regular. It takes a couple of minutes, but I can feel his body relaxing with my hands. I make sure to smile at him the whole time, reminding him that I'm here to help. I feel a bit awkward about doing this in such a public place, but my #1 priority should be Jun. There we go. You're doing a lot better already. Do you feel any better? A little. I don't feel like I'm going to suffocate anymore. That's good. See, there's nothing for you to be afraid of. This is just a day like any other. You're fine. He swallows hard and nods. It makes me feel a bit better to be able to help him in some way. At least I don't have to stand around and feel helpless. Now, how about we talk about something more pleasant, huh? Is there anything you'd like to talk about? Not really. Come on, there must be something. Just say the first thing that comes to mind. Well, there's this book series I really like. The new book came out just last week, but I don't have the money to buy it yet. Oh, that's cool. What's this series about? I was just looking to distract him with some pleasant conversation, but this might actually be interesting. It's called the Murderous Queen Trilogy. It's a story set in a fantasy world about a former queen who escapes death after her husband is overthrown and killed in a rebellion and then goes around looking for vengeance. That doesn't sound at all like something I expect you to read. Why? You think I can't enjoy a mature, complex story? What? No. Yes. Well, it's just that you tend to go for more, happier stories. I've heard you talking about some games before, and they were all very teen-friendly. This one sounds like something that wouldn't be recommended for a 17-year-old. Well, the rating is 17+, and I'm 19. I don't see the issue here. True enough. It's a bit out of character, at least in my opinion. And the book that was just released was, what, the second one? Jun shakes his head in negative. It's the last one. I read the first two and they were really good. Although, I'll admit, I was just 14 when the first one came out, so I wasn't actually supposed to read it. My dad was just feeling very tired when he took me out to buy a birthday present and didn't look at what book I picked. Sounds like lousy parenting at its finest. Mom was really mad when she found the book. Poor Dad got the brunt of it. As he should, letting a 14-year-old kid read something like that. But then again, I've played games that were like that when I was a kid, so I guess I'm one to talk. Well, it sounds like you like it a lot. What was the name of his third book? Just for curiosity's sake. I might just end up buying it for him later. What was it called again? Ah, The Red Keep. Huh? That's an interesting name. I might end up picking up a copy of these for myself. Well, what else? Tell me more about it. I'd rather not. You might want to read them in the future, and I don't want to spoil you. Psh, spoilers are my bread and butter. I don't care about spoilers. Come on, tell me more. Anything that keeps you talking and stops you from freaking out. Well, okay. But first, can you take your hand from my chest? There's some people looking and it's a bit embarrassing. Ah! I only notice it when he points it out, but I pull away immediately and get up on my feet. I try looking slyly around and see that there are a couple heads turned in our direction. Damn, my cheeks feel hot right now. I guess Jean wasn't the only one being distracted by our conversation. I'll just sit right here. I take a seat next to Jean on the bench. All the awkwardness that I was feeling because of what happened yesterday has now come back full force. Damn, it feels weird all of a sudden. No, power through it. I've gotten this far, I can't allow him to start moping again. Well, anyway, you're going to tell me more about those books? Jean smiles and it immediately sets my heart at ease. It's so good to see a smile back on his face. Well, the story starts with Ella. That's the protagonist's name, by the way. Ella Rochelle, in a tavern. A man sits next to her and tells her she looks pretty and starts flirting with her, and she asks him to buy her a drink. When he's not looking, she slips a bit of viper venom in his ale and excuses herself to go to the bathroom after she sees him drink it. Then she escapes the tavern while he dies. Then we get taken to a flashback about how she was forced to go on exile after her husband was dethroned and murdered and their children were killed. She talks about making a deal with a witch to grant her a new face that she wants to use to kill the ones who masterminded the rebellion. Then she... As the minutes start to pass, I see that Jean's body has already stopped twitching entirely. I finally begin to rest a bit easy knowing that he's calmed down immensely. He continues to talk to me about his book, enthusiastically describing the story to me while still keeping himself very vague at certain points. I guess he really doesn't want to spoil me after all. He starts to perk up considerably. His gestures become more full of energy and his smile becomes wider. After what I assume has been 15 minutes, he's almost back to his usual self, which makes me sigh in relief. Huh? Are you alright, Nico-san? I'm not boring you, am I? No, nothing like that. I'm just relieved. Relieved? About what? He cocks his head to the side like a curious little puppy. It's adorable to see him behaving like this again. I decide that there's no harm in telling him. Well, look at how much you've calmed down. You're acting like yourself again. Jean blinks a couple of times, his eyes becoming wider. Hey, you're right. I do feel better. See, I'm just glad I managed to calm you down. I'm suddenly wrapped in a mass of orange fur when Jun pounces on me out of nowhere, enveloping me in a warm, tight hug. Thank you so much. I didn't even realize it, but you were worrying about me all this time. While the feeling is certainly nice, the first thing I worry about is the people around us seeing, well, this. I give him a few taps on his arm. Okay, easy there, Tiger. We're still in public, remember? Oh, right. His tail immediately stands upright as he pulls back from me, scratching his reddened cheeks in embarrassment. Sorry, I just kinda lost control. It's alright. I don't mind. It's a nice feeling. Just not when we're in public, okay? Yeah, okay. Oh man, he's just too precious. Please, Jun, never change. Jun Kobayashi? A voice calls Jun's name. We both turn our heads to search for it at the same time. We both see a lion dressed in a red shirt and a pair of cargo pants. The lion stares at Jun with wide eyes, his mouth open in an O shape. Oh my god, I didn't believe it when I saw your name in the list of participants, but it really is you. I'm sorry, but who are you? Oh right, it's been 7 years. No wonder you wouldn't recognize me. I grew a lot taller and I didn't even have a mane back then. Wait, Akutagawa-kun? The lion smiles, putting a hand on his waist, making the bracelets he has on his wrist clink. You haven't changed much, all things considered. Well, you grew a bit, in both directions. Still, I heard you gave up the piano after that incident 7 years ago. What brought you back? Noticing the change in Jun's demeanor, the lion awkwardly scratches the back of his neck. Sorry, I let curiosity get the better of me. I understand if you don't want to talk about it. Still, it's good to see you again. Maybe I'll finally have my revenge. I'm sorry to intrude on your conversation, but what's going on? What's this talk about vengeance? My sudden interjection makes Jun jump up from his seat. He apparently completely forgot that I was here. Oh, that's right. Nico-san, this is Shinji Akutagawa. He used to be a friend of mine back when I still participated in competitions. Oh please, let's just call it what it is. No need to play friends with me. You and I were bitter rivals. Huh? We were? He falters, gasping and gaping in shock. Hey, are you kidding me? Of course we were rivals. I always had to share the podium with you. You have no idea how bitter I was about that. Wait, we shared the podium? I don't remember that. Jun scratches at his cheek as the lion looks at him, completely flabbergasted. Are you seriously telling me you forgot about me? Well, I didn't forget. I remember talking to you before and after the competitions, but I don't remember how you played or where you placed. I wasn't really paying attention. You self-absorbed prick! I spent all this time thinking about you and you didn't even remember me? Big, comical tears start forming around his eyes as he begins to pout. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Forget it. You and I will square off on the stage and I will destroy you. Just make sure that weak set list of yours doesn't spell your doom. I'll make sure the name Shinji Akutagawa is the one you'll never forget. He runs off without a second glance, leaving us to eat dust. Well, that was a bit weird. Jun nods in affirmative, still looking confused. By the way, Nico-san, when are the others getting here? It's already 9:35? Well, Keikun and Saya said they'd arrive at about 9:40, so they should be getting here soon. Shuichi will probably still take at least an hour since he's dealing with some issues at school. Issues? Yeah, I kinda forgot to get excused to come here today. Shuichi's at school right now trying to set things straight so I won't get punished for skipping. Wait, don't you need parental permission for that? How's he gonna get you excused? Well, he'll just work his magic. He's student council president, I'm sure he'll manage. I see. Wait. Why is he the one getting you excused? Well, it was his choice to go in my place. Why would he do that? Well, he was a bit worried that Jun stares at me with inquisitive eyes. Yes? He was a bit worried that I'd say something I shouldn't and end up getting in trouble. So? He basically said you were too incompetent to do it. That is not what he said. But it's what he meant. When did you get so snarky? I learned it from watching you guys talking to each other. Isn't that what you do? Oh boy, I suddenly feel like a bad influence. Don't worry, I'm just pulling your leg. It was funny seeing the look on your face. We created a monster. Anyway, can you try calling Shuichi-san and ask him if he's gonna take long? I kinda need him to be here soon. Why? Your performance isn't due until 12:30. Well, yeah, but all the performers need to go backstage to prepare half an hour before the first performance starts, and then we just stay there to concentrate on our performances. Wait, isn't the first performance in an hour? Yeah. What? Why didn't you say this sooner? You didn't ask. So if I don't ask you something, you just won't tell me? Crap, I have to call Shuichi and tell him to hurry. Sorry, later. I walk away from Jun, going to the entrance of the concert hall where the phone signal is a bit better. 2 bars. That should be plenty. Now to see if I can actually call him. Nico? Get here now! Jeez, are you trying to make me deaf or something? What's going on? Is everything okay? Are you still in school? I just left. I'm heading to the train station now. Why? Run to it. You must get the first train that comes by. What? The next train is in 5 minutes. There's no way I can catch it. What's this even about? Jean has to go backstage in half an hour. If you don't hurry here, you won't be able to see him until after his performance. Shuichi? Why didn't you tell me this sooner? I have to pull the phone away from my face as I'm at risk of going deaf. Jeez, this isn't my fault. Why am I the one getting yelled at? Didn't you just complain about me doing just that? I don't care. Why wasn't I informed sooner? Because I didn't know myself. Jean only told me about it now. I hear groaning on the other side, followed by the sound of running steps. Forget it. I'm going to try and make it to the station in time for the next train. Don't let him go anywhere until I get there. I'll try, but I don't know if I can. Don't let him go anywhere until I get there. Just like that, he shuts the call off, and I'm left with ringing in my ear. Well, I guess that takes care of that. Now to go back to Boo. Ah! I nearly fall on my ass when Keisuke suddenly jumps in front of me, scaring the crap out of me. Heh, gotcha. What the hell? Sorry, I saw you on your phone and I couldn't resist. When did you even get here? Oh, about 30 seconds ago. I came in with Saya, but she left to look for Kobayashi. And like I said, I couldn't resist, so I stayed behind. Keisuke chuckles, puffing up his chest with satisfaction. I sigh. That's just great for you. Can we please get back to Jean and apparently Saya? Wow, someone's in a bad mood. Yeah, I didn't have a very good day. What happened? Well, it was crazy, really. You wouldn't believe if I told you. Keisuke scratches at his chin, obviously curious. Try me. Okay then. Well, I came here to the concert hall today and met up with Jean. Then something happened and I had to step away for a second. Yeah? Keisuke has always been a sucker for dramatic stories, so I make sure to make a dramatic pause. He gobbles it up like a rabbit with carrots. Or a hare. Doesn't matter. Then, all of a sudden, this crazy lunatic here jumps out of nowhere and screams at my face. His face immediately deflates. I see the twinkle of humor and curiosity in his eyes die out. Har har, very funny. You think so too? Great. I thought it was hysterical. You really are an idiot. Well, consider that payback for nearly giving me a heart attack. Fine, fine, I get it. Let's just go join the others already. Without waiting for a response, Keikun walks away from me. Hey, don't just leave me hanging! Jeez, did Keikun run towards them? How did he get there so much quicker than I did? The first thing I noticed when I reached them is that Saya seems to be talking very excitedly. Wait, what's with that look on those two faces? The ball went and then I hit it back with my racket like zoom. Then I hit the ground and it made a huge pa. Is that an actual conversation? I'm not sure if that's even Japanese. Ah, Nigo-kun! Saya quickly hops towards me, waving. Hey, Saya. Good morning! She jabs me in the torso with her outstretched hand, hitting me right between the ribs. I have to hold on to Keikun's shoulder to keep myself from falling down. She completely knocked the air out of me with that. I can't breathe. Saya stands in her spot, looking innocent. Are you alright, Nico? You don't look so good. Of course I don't look good. You just knocked the air out of me. What? I didn't hit you that hard. It was just a friendly poke. No, Mizuguchi-san. That was a bit... Remind me never to walk within arm's reach of you. Oh, come on. I was just wishing him a good morning. She stares guiltily at me as I gasp for air. If you do that to someone when you're trying to be nice to them, I'm afraid of what you do when you're angry. I've heard some stories. Oh, really? Do tell. Well, there's the time when... Hey, quit it! Yes, ma'am. Oh boy, I wasn't ready to get stabbed in the gut first thing in the morning. I already said I was sorry for that. Actually, you did. She gives him a frightening, murderous glance. Kobayashi-kun, she said she already apologized for it. What? Seriously, you're trying to deflect the blame to someone else now? Great, the day has barely started and you're already terrorizing the community. Yeah. Well, I feel like I can finally stand on my own 2 feet again. Man, I thought I was gonna puke my guts out after that one. Sorry. At least now she's apologizing. What were you two talking about anyway? Oh, I watched a video of a Challenger level tournament yesterday. It was amazing! You mean the one that happened in Miami? You saw it too? A little. I watched about 15 minutes of it before it made me want to go outside and practice. Must be nice being able to watch the things you like on TV. Concerts and orchestras don't get nearly as much attention as sports do. Not many people like classical music to begin with, so it'd be a tough sell. But there are still some channels dedicated to that sort of content. And they're usually premium channels that you have to pay top dollar to watch. That's true. You won't have to worry about that sort of thing for long. You'll be going to a music academy next year. You'll see tons of concerts and orchestras. Damn it, Saya. Do you have any idea how long it took me to calm him down? Now you had to go and remind him of it. It's not that easy. Unless I graduate from a very prestigious academy, finding a job as composer would be hard. And those are really expensive. I need a scholarship to be able to attend, and I need an impeccable record to get one. I basically have to join every piano competition possible and have to win them all just to have a chance. Sheesh, sounds rough. That's what I get for being out of the stages for 7 years. Oh yeah, this reminds me. Jean apparently has a rival. What was his name again? Teriyama? Akiyama? What was the line called again? Akutagawa-kun? Ah yes, that's his name. Boy, I was way off the mark on this one. Yeah, it's this big lion guy. He said he was Jean's biggest rival back when they still performed in competitions. Apparently, Jean beat him every single time. You should have seen it. He came here swearing vengeance and all that. Wow, sounds a bit cliché. Jean lets out a nervous laugh. Yeah, Akutagawa-kun was always pretty intense. He had a penchant for being dramatic, even when we were kids. I guess that hasn't changed even now. Well, this could be fun. That means we actually get to watch some competition. Oh, I know. I have the list of participants here with me. We could check out what he's performing. Oh, that's a great idea. I haven't checked it yet. Keikun pulls a flyer from his pocket and unfolds it. In it are the pictures of many kids, with some details written next to them. It seems that these are their set lists. Each player is allocated 15 minutes to perform, and they can perform as many songs as they want in that time. Let's see, Kobayashi-kun, you're going with Allegro Appassionato and Chopin's Etude Opera 25, number 12. Not quite hitting the 15 minutes mark. Yeah, I was afraid stamina might be an issue, so I chose to keep my set list a bit on the shorter side. I'm actually surprised you know those songs. Really? Son of a rich house? I was force-fed this kind of music since I was 7. My grandmother tried to force me to play the violin. It doesn't sound like it was very fun. It wasn't, but I survived. Anyway, let's see. Akutagawa. Ah, there he is. Keiko nearly buries his face in the paper. Huh? His voice is so loud that it leaves my ears ringing. Jesus, give us a warning before you do that. Is there something wrong with him? Well, he's performing Franz Liszt. I stare at him in confusion. Is that name supposed to mean something to us? When I look to the side, I see Jean's face has nearly lost all its color. Jean, are you okay? What song? His voice came out crackly and incredibly small. Grande fantasie de bravoure sur la chocolat. The who, what now? Jean swallows audibly. I'm sure his face has gone at least 3 tones wider. His voice comes out almost in a monotone. Franz Liszt is a world-renowned composer. His works are said to be some of the most technically difficult in existence. That song, Grande Fantasie, is considered one of his most difficult pieces. Not many pianists attempt to play it because of how difficult and demanding it is. That song is exactly 14 minutes and 59 seconds long. Even for an easier piece, stamina would be a concern. For that song though, if he plays it madly well, he's going to almost certainly win the competition. If he plays it well enough, he could even get world recognition. That's how difficult that piece is. Wait, the way you're saying it sounds like he's already got this in the bag. Do you think he can even pull it off? Yeah, I mean, didn't you say that even professionals tend to stay away from that song? What makes you think a high schooler can play it? Why would he submit it as his set list if he can't even play it? K-kun, you're not helping. Well, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be realistic.
7 years ago, I don't think he could have. If he were good enough to do this song, then I'd remember it, but... I need to talk to the organizers.
I cut Jun off before he's able to walk away, putting myself in his path. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't tell me you're going to be dropping out because of this. I noticed Jun clenching his fist so hard that I'm afraid his claws are going to puncture the palm of his hand.
I'm going to increase the difficulty in my own set list.
Whoa, calm down for a second there. Didn't you say just a second ago you chose your songs because stamina was a concern? If you increase the difficulty even further, then...
I have to fight fire with fire. Now I understand the comment he made on my set list. It isn't bold enough. He's gonna completely bury me unless I take a risk.
And what are you even going to perform? You haven't practiced any other songs.
There are two I already know by heart. I used to perform them a lot when I was younger.
Which ones?
Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, third movement, Presto Agitato, and...
Wait, I remember that name. Isn't that the song you were playing when we met? He nods.
It was the song I played the most. It was almost always in my set list for all the competitions I took part in.
I still remember walking into the music room that day.
The other one is Chopin's Etude Opus 25, number 11, Winter Wind.
They may not be as difficult as the song Akutagawa-kun chose,
but they're both very technical. If I play the two of them together, I might have a chance at winning.
They're also incredibly fast-paced and demanding. Are you sure you can even handle playing the two together? You'd be mashing the keys almost non-stop for 10 minutes.
If Akutagawa-kun is willing to take this much risk with his song selection, then I have to do the same.
The difference is that he had time to practice his song. You didn't. You were too busy practicing your old set list. Jun purses his lips, shoving his hand down his pockets and looking down at the floor.
I know that, but I have to try. Like I said, I know these two songs by heart. I performed them so many times, and I can play them in my sleep.
But can you play them as well as you need to? If this guy's performance is even remotely decent, then yours is going to be absolutely perfect to be able to win.
I know that.
Jun raises his voice, making both Sai and I jump back a step. Keisuke stares at him, bewildered. Even I notice a few heads turning our way. Jun, realizing the sudden attention coming our way, crosses his arms, looking back down at the floor.
I know that. But if I don't do it, then I'm just going to guarantee a loss. You said it yourself. Even with those two songs, I'd need to be absolutely perfect to stand a chance. What chance do you think I have with my current list?
Keikun crosses his arms, rubbing his right elbow with his hand as he looks away, biting his lip. None.
Exactly.
The two just stand awkwardly rooted to their spots, not looking at each other. The atmosphere has suddenly become so weird and awkward that it's hard for me to say anything.
Well, if that's how it is, then you should just get to it already.
That's when Saya speaks up, drawing everyone's attention to herself. She stands there smiling, looking either completely oblivious of the weird mood surrounding all of us, or just simply not caring about it.
I'm not even sure if they're going to allow me. The set lists are decided weeks in advance.
Well, you won't know until you try. Nothing's gonna happen if you don't try.
You're right. I'm gonna be right back.
Jean walks away, looking for the competition's organizers. Now that I think about it, one of us should probably go with him, huh? I exchange glances with Saya, who apparently picks right up on what I'm thinking. I'm gonna go after Kobayashi-kun. Make sure he doesn't get lost. Keikun nods in agreement. Probably for the best. Let's not forget he still gets lost at school. I wouldn't put it past him getting lost here.
Alright, I'll catch up to you guys later. Kobayashi-kun, wait up!
With that, Keikun and I are left alone in the middle of a busy lobby. Well, I guess that's that. Hopefully he doesn't end up in that much trouble. Yeah, I'm still surprised you know classical music though. What, really? You too? Come on, rich kid from a traditional family. You really doubted for even a second that I wouldn't be exposed to classical music. You said your grandma forced you to practice the violin. Does that mean you play? A little. I was forced to practice for 3 years, but I purposefully did badly whenever she came to watch just to spite her. Eventually, she just gave up saying I was horrid at it. I was never forced to touch an instrument again. If only she knew I was just faking it. I was actually kinda decent at it. I just hated the damn thing. Dad got the raw end of the deal though. From what he tells me, she was much more relentless when he was a kid. She forced him to pick up the piano because she wanted the prestige of having her son be a pianist. Then he fell in love with the piano and decided to become a professional pianist. She, of course, was all too happy to oblige since he was only the second child and was never going to inherit the business anyway. Then, right when he landed his dream offer to play for a prestigious orchestra in France, his brother died and she forced him to take up the business. Wait, so she forced him to play the instrument when he didn't want to. Then when he decided that he actually liked it and wanted to make his life about it, she took it away from him and forced him to become a businessman. Only one of the many reasons I hate my grandmother. That's really awful. I'm surprised you even told me this. You never said much about your home life. No one's ever asked, and I never really had any reason to say it. This time, it just kind of came up as an interesting tidbit on the conversation we were already having. So you won't volunteer any information about yourself unless someone asks you? Nope. I'm not that interesting of a person to just start talking about myself for no reason. Unless it's something that can be relevant to the conversation, that is. So, you're saying if I asked some questions about you, you'd answer them? Maybe later. Why later? So you are evading this after all. No, it's just that I see Urata coming our way and it looks like he might drop any second now. What? Shungun, where? He went over to the organizer's office. What? I told you to keep him from leaving until I got here. Shuichi grabs my shoulders, baring his fangs at me in anger. As much as I love getting blamed for everything, I pull both of his hands away from my arms. He hasn't gone backstage. He just went to have a word with the organizers of the competition to see if he could change his set list. Oh. He stares at me awkwardly, slinking back to a less threatening position and scratching at the back of his neck. I cross my arms and shift all my weight to my left leg, giving him a smug look. Shuichi looks down at the floor, embarrassed. Sorry. I laugh, having some innocent fun at his expense. By the way, why are you so sweaty? You smell like you just ran a marathon. Keikun pinches his nose mid-sentence, making his voice come out all nasally and funny. That's because I did. I had to run from our school to the station in under 5 minutes if I wanted to catch the closest train. Then I had to run from the station all the way over here. I give him a thumbs up. Good job. I can barely even stand. Toad praised me as if I were a kid who finally learned to clear the table. Alright. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? What am I, a dog? Shuichi grabs my shoulders again, giving me a firm shake. Well, shut up! Keikun's lips quiver up in another half smile, full of smugness and satisfaction. Well, what else do you expect me to say? I didn't know I had to praise you every time you did something nice. Like you said, you're not a kid or a dog. Well, technically... Shut up! Keikun chuckles, seemingly very happy with himself. You don't have to praise me. It's just... feels nice when you do, okay? Alright, I get it. And this is where part 1 of day 9 ends. I didn't know where else to stop it without getting both videos to be like kind of uneven in length. So I just said, make this one 50 minutes, make the other one an hour. And that was fair enough. So yeah, we're going to end things here for part 1 and pick back up with praising Shuichi in the next episode of Tennis Ace. Take care, guys.